Thank you. Let me say a few things about Colin, and then I'll let him have the rest of the time. Who is still in college in 2011? Okay, high school in 2011. Okay, middle school. Yeah, we even have some of those. That was the first time Colin won a Lifetime Achievement Award in this space. It happened again in 2017, and it's happening again now with the Wright Award, right? Colin and I reviewed a long list of his accomplishments, of which I knew about half of. The other half was before I was even in this space and still thinking about what I wanted to be when I grow up, which was a stuntman, incidentally. And one of the things that happened when I came into this space was that not only did I start learning about those accomplishments, I started to learn how to be a leader. Anytime I needed to meet with Colin, I was in London or whatever, he would meet with me. We're at a conference, he had all of these people to sell to and all these people to meet with, and he would take some time to just go have a chat, just go have a coffee. He's going to Washington, yeah, I'll swing by Florida to say hello. Okay. Colin made time for people who asked for it. Every single person in here who knows him has a story or 20 just like that. And as I was looking through these accomplishments, I was like, these are just accomplishments. You're an innovator. You're a leader. You did the first dedicated loyalty agency in the world. Think about that. Everybody here who has an agency title or a technology that is dedicated to loyalty, it started with Colin Evans. Okay? He grew his company. He grew his sons. I aspire to be a dad to do just those same types of things, to grow them into leaders just like he did. When I think about how I want to treat people and somebody calls me, I don't have any time in the world. I'm so busy. I've got to do this. And they say, I've just got a few questions about loyalty. I stop and I think about Colin Evans, and I give them all the time in the world. So Colin, thank you for your lifetime of achievement, for everything that you've done. I'd love for you to share a few of those accomplishments with people.
I think there's one thing of being the oldest person in the room, but I didn't start 46 years ago. I better read this because you don't want someone like me who's creeping around. I started the agency in 1987. The one thing I was wondering about people here, there's a lot of people here who weren't born. Right? There's a lot of people, for the year, I looked at most people. You have to be 50 to be that age to have gone through that period. And so I started out building a loyalty agency. I ran it, we're still running it. We work with, so far, we've worked with over 100 airlines, around 25 hotel groups. At least 25 of the airlines we work with do not exist. They just either went bust or they were changed and owned by Lufthansa, or or another, some of the Americans, they all vanished. To a degree, you also get that to a degree in the hotel space. I've stayed at hotels that suddenly don't work with the same business. They work somewhere else. So it's a common practice. But they're good fun to work with. Working with airlines, working for this long. And then I had after 5 years of starting it, I started something else, something called Priority Pass, which was very different. I have a question, just a curious question. How many people in this room has had or does own a Priority Pass? That's quite a lot of people. And it's a business that's got up to the millions. And I started it with 27 lounges. Today there's 1,500 lounges and somewhere around 600 different locations. And then, it's just gone that way. The third thing I said I would talk about was doing something that was completely a nightmare, which was when COVID appeared. So what we did, we had a business with roughly that year, we were doing 4 million a month. That went down to 38,000. The other part of our business is travel insurance. We had £10 million bills that suddenly appeared. And many of our friends in the industry, the airlines and the hotels who we were earning money from, also collapsed because, not collapsed totally, but because of COVID. So we had someone who was a doctor on the insurance, and he approached us and said we should go and go to the airport and let's talk to the airlines and the airport. And we did, and we started to sell, we produced things for COVID, and we sold over 1.5 million COVID apples are sitting next to the man there. But we're doing that, which was incredibly interesting, including working with just people all over the world. Wonderful. And then the last thing, we've set up Value Dynamics. And the young man, he's been with me for 26 years. And we followed a lot of what we were doing, but it's much more modern. When I started Loyalty Agency, you only did one thing, work with the airline, and it took them 1 year to 2 years to build it up and get going. Now there's got a range of multiple products, same with the hotels. So after that, that's all I'll say. There's a lot of other things. Thank everybody. Thanks a lot for giving me that.
There you go.
Thank you.
Put that next to the other two. Okay.